Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. We are live from the Norwegian Jewel. I have no idea how good the signal is. I know it's a bit weak here on the ship, and I broke my first rule, which is to look for a Wi-Fi repeater when I go into a room, but you know, I broke my own rule. But how you doing? I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We are hanging out in La Cucina, which is the Italian restaurant at the back of the Norwegian Jewel. I was set up outside. It was going to be a real pretty shot. And then all these dark clouds started moving in. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to get caught in the rain. So we are live on the very first cruise out of Philadelphia in over 15 years. Embarkation was a trip. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I can tell you that the ship is great. Oh my gosh. I think the ship went through dry dock fairly recently. So the ship is absolutely beautiful inside and out. In fact, we had a nice look at her last night. We went out on a sunset catamaran and we kind of came around as the sun was setting and we got a real good look at her. And yeah, come on around. Yeah, some of the folks, so you can see the shirt. You can clearly see the shirt that I'm wearing. We are on the La Lido Loca Bermuda Triangle cruise, as we're calling it. We're actually at the, we learned last night that there's an island just off Bermuda that is the northern point of the triangle. And so this is the La Lido Loca Bermuda Triangle cruise. And we've already announced next year's cruise. We're coming back for Halloween. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's where we are. So I don't know how the signal is. I hope the signal is halfway decent where you all are. If it's breaking up and down, well, I'll run up and tell the captain to fix it, you know, after the show. But for now, we're just going to do what we can. We've got Alex actually sitting right here. Hi, Alex.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
It's awesome.
Enjoying Bermuda.
Yeah. So now he can ask me questions about food to my face instead of just always in the text. Let's see who's here. Mimi's here. Eric's here. John is freezing up in Buffalo. Hi, Betty. WDW guy. Pamela's here. Brandy. Hey, Benny. Barbara. Hi, guys. How are you? It's good to see everybody. And for those of you on TikTok, welcome. Again, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We book land, luxury, cruise, and expedition travel, and our services are truly 100% free to you. So if we can help you in any way, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. And with that, feel free to drop questions in the chat. I'll do my very best to answer them as we go along. But again, we are sitting currently, we're in Bermuda. We've been here overnight. It's actually been kind of cool. We're overnight and we have the Valiant Lady with us. She's been here overnight as well. So it's kind of neat, not only doing the overnight, but actually having a second ship with us as well. I can tell you, we finally did the fish sandwich at Calico Jack. So Calico Jack is the little pirate ship that's sitting right over here. They have what they call the Bermuda fish sandwich. That is a cinnamon raisin bread with a fish sandwich. It's very bizarre. That first bite is weird. Like you take this bite, you got cinnamon, you got raisin, you got fish. You're like, okay, this is weird. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. So apparently it's a Bermuda thing. Okay. That's okay. TikTok appears to be either very slow or completely down. So I don't know. But definitely the YouTube side, it's swimming right along. Hi, guys. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We have a live audience going right now. So yeah. But yeah, it looks like TikTok might be dead at the moment. So what are you going to do? I could always try and relaunch a different live. Who knows? But you guys are with me over here on YouTube. So let's see. Good morning. Terry's here. Barbara's here. Nancy's here. Hi, guys. Good to see everybody. So first of all, before we even get started, I will go ahead and bring up, if you are getting any FOMO and you wish you were here with us with Tony and the whole La Lido Loca gang, he went ahead and announced it before we even got on the ship. We are doing Halloween. We're bringing back the Halloween cruise. I think they've taken like a 4-year hiatus, 5-year hiatus on this thing. It got really big, and it got to be a lot of work for Jenny to manage, plus for Tony to do all the work on the ship. It took a hiatus, but now that we're working with them, we're bringing it back, and we're bringing it back in a big way. It is going to be on the Star Princess. We're actually sailing on Halloween Day, October 31st, 2027. We'll be sailing through November 7th, 2027. We'll leave from Port Canaveral. We'll go to Celebration Key, Amber Cove, San Juan, and Grand Turk. And right now, for the first time ever with Princess, I actually have savings up to $500 per person. That would be the balcony cabins. Now, the thing about my savings, don't tell Princess, but I'm like running out. I really should not have any more, but they're continuing to let me sell. So I don't know how many more I'm going to have. So if you're thinking about coming on this group cruise, you may not want to wait too long until Princess realizes, hey, he's still selling those cabins. What's going on? But yeah, so we're going to be on Star Princess October 31st through November 7th, 2027. If you want to come cruise with Tony and Jenny B, this really is a lot of fun, right, guys? It's just an awesome experience. And then Don showed up. Don Terrace, like literally, that was a true surprise. Tony did not know Don was coming until Don ruined the surprise by posting a picture of himself on the plane coming here. And Tony's like, hey, you coming to Philly? And of course, Don can't lie. So yes, he came to Philly. It was an absolute pleasure meeting him. And then Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, is also on board. So it's been actually really cool getting to meet them. We already did one live event. We've done a group dinner. We got another group dinner tonight. We got another live event tomorrow. So if you want to come cruise and hang out with Tony and Jenny B, they are two of the most lovely people you will ever meet. Two of the most genuine people you will ever meet. So if you want to come along with them next year, it is going to be absolutely fabulous. And as John Tober just said, the prices are great. We're doing a sanctuary mini suite because, you know, we're like, hey, we want to go experience that sanctuary, and it should be absolutely amazing.
We were jealous of John's cabin.
I know we were jealous of John Tober the last time. So we said, you know what? We're getting a sanctuary this time. And now John's coming too. Right, John? You're coming, right? I can't remember. Yes. Yeah, I think you're coming.
Yes, he is.
You and Roy are coming. And pretty soon we're going to be hanging out with you guys over in Italy as well. Oh my gosh, everybody is here. Hi, guys. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining in. If you're just joining in, we are live on the Norwegian Jewel. This is the very first cruise out of Philadelphia in almost 15 years. And we are hanging out on the ship. We are in Bermuda. This is day 2 of our 2 days. We're out of here at 3 o'clock today.
All aboard is 2:30.
Yeah, all aboard is 2:30. We are actually 1 hour ahead of Eastern time. So it is like 11:38 in the morning over here. So yeah, so that is, so we're actually starting an hour later from there, but it is absolutely beautiful here. Really got to spend some good time. We did the sunset catamaran out there. It was absolutely lovely out there. So we had a really, really good time out there. Yeah, thank you, Cruise RX. Looking good and relaxed. Thank you. Yeah, now we're relaxed because we've gotten caught up. We were swamped with that Halloween cruise and trying to get everybody booked. We didn't even get the group until we got to Philly. So Rebecca was working very hard by my side to get everybody booked. And I think we were almost caught up. We've got almost everybody booked. I got a few more to do today. And then I can really relax and have some fun. I'm looking forward to Charleston. Charleston is our next port. Excited. We got a sea day tomorrow. Then we go to Charleston, South Carolina. I'm telling you, people, if you get an itinerary with Charleston on it, take it. Unfortunately, I know some of the itineraries, I think it's like June, July, that like this ship was supposed to go there, but Charleston is going to be doing construction on the pier. So they're the ones who said, nope, we can't come here. So they're going to go somewhere. I think they're going to Halifax and then down to Bermuda, something like that, or Bermuda and then up to Halifax, something like that. So, but yeah, so that's going to happen. But if you get on an itinerary that has Charleston, or you find an itinerary that has Charleston, take it, because Charleston is a super cool city to come in on. So first off, any questions from the peanut gallery that's hanging out here with me right now? Questions?
Not yet.
Carol, you always have something to say. Aaron, you got a question?
I'll try to.
Okay, all right. We'll get questions from the peanut gallery in a minute. And if you guys got any questions out there, feel free to drop them in. Let's go ahead and talk about Philadelphia. We'll just start with a little bit about Philadelphia, and we'll come back to it as we're going along. But so we knew Embarkation was going to be, well, actually, let's just start with Philadelphia. Philadelphia is amazing. Oh my gosh, if you've never been to Philly, you never spent time in Philly, you need to spend time in Philly. It is so, I was expecting New York City. I've driven through Philly. I've never actually stayed in Philly, but I was just kind of expecting New York City, you know, big canyons and things like that. So it's not that at all. It is a very walkable city. It's a lovely city. And I highly recommend that if you're going to come up here, spend at least 2 days. We were here for 3 days in Philly and it wasn't enough, but stay in the Rittenhouse area. So the Rittenhouse area is like is one of like the historic areas or something like that. And it is literally in the middle of everything. You can walk to Independence Hall. You can walk to the Liberty Bell. You can almost walk to Rocky Statue. That's a little bit of a hike if you're going to go to the Rocky Statue. And then there are well over 100 restaurants easily within walking distance. So you can literally just walk. Oh, the Reading Market. That was a 15-minute walk from the hotel. I mean, everything is right there in the Rittenhouse area. So if you're going to go to Philly, please spend at least a couple of days before or after, or maybe before and after, because it's a really cool city. And it's totally different, right? It's different than anything else we've been doing. We haven't sailed out of there. I have talked to some people who did sail out of there, back in the day, and they said it was even worse back then. It just wasn't a great experience. But now it looks like they will be setting up a good experience. So Philadelphia as a cruise port, oh my gosh, I'm really excited about it. I actually want to come back because I want to spend more time. Did not have near enough time to spend.
We were working.
Yeah, we were working really hard, trying to, we could have just blown off all that stuff and said, we'll just wait till we get home. But we wanted to get everybody booked and set up on the new cruise. So, but yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia as a cruise port, 2 thumbs up from me. It is going to be absolutely spectacular.
The key words being going to be.
It's going to be, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jennifer asks a good question here. What time did you need to be on the ship since it wasn't an overnighter? This is an overnighter. We were here last night. But here's the thing. Some ships and some cruise lines may close the gangway, at certain times of the evening. So you need to make sure that you check with the cruise line, because just because you're at a place overnight, like the gangway may close at, say, I don't know, like midnight to 4:30 in the morning or something like that. So there may be a point at which the gangway is closed. So you do need to know that. Now here on this particular ship, the gangway was open all night. And I think the Valiant Lady was the same way. The gangway was open all night. Today, all aboard is 2:30 local time. So we are an hour ahead of Eastern time. But that's one of the things about those overnight stays. You always need to make sure, oh yeah, the gangway should be open all night. It may or may not be open all night, but it'll be open most of the night. So how was the hotel, Brandy is asking? Well, I will tell you, I would not stay in the Clarion Hotel if it was me. I mean, even for one night, I don't know that I would stay. Did anybody stay there? Yeah, okay, so nobody stayed. Did you stay there? Yeah, how was it? I got this. I got this, yeah. Yeah. They said excuse our appearance because they were under construction. I don't know that the renovation is going to make it much better.
2 questions with you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so for one night, right? You were there for one night?
It was nice coming down at 8:30 in the morning and dropping our luggage off.
There you go. So one night it's a hotel, but at 8:30 in the morning, he just came down the elevator and boom, they dropped off their bags. So that is the big plus for the Clarion, that you are at the hotel that currently serves as the check-in. Now, we stayed at the Club Quarters Rittenhouse. That was absolutely fantastic. Now, it's not a perfect hotel. It's an older hotel, but it was just a great experience because of right where we were. I mean, they had the coffee machine. That's all I need. They got that coffee machine in the lobby. I was very happy about that. And it was very easy to just get in and out. And it did have kind of a weird double elevator thing because it's like 2 buildings connected. There's a short building connected to a taller building. That was a little bit annoying. And in fact, I made sure that we staged our entire group early on the morning that we had to leave because the second elevator is very small. So I had 47 people getting onto a bus. So I made sure we staged all the luggage early. So I didn't have 47 people trying to come down this very small elevator one after the other. So that was, a slight negative to it. Now, some of our guests stayed at the Motto by Hilton, and most of them were my age or older. And they were like, this is really like a 30-somethings hotel. It had like a vibe of a 30-somethings hotel. And some people didn't really like it that much, but they're like, yeah, we can tolerate it, but we wouldn't stay here again. And other people are like, oh, it kind of makes me feel a little younger hanging out with all these people. But it was, people said it was a good hotel. It was just a little different than what they expected.
And I think one of the big issues is they had the kind of see-through bathroom that you had to use a curtain
they did
get privacy. So
they did kind of
some people were not fond of that concept.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, so the hotels were fine. We got a decent on the Clarion. I mean, the Clarion definitely, it is under construction right now. It needs a lot of work. And yeah, so before I get to Aaron, somebody said, Benny's asking, how did the Embarkation go in Philly? So that was the big topic of discussion. First off, the Embarkation did not need to go as badly as it did. That was just poor planning and poor logistics by Philiport. It's not Norwegian Cruise Line. You know, some people are blaming Norwegian Cruise Line, but Norwegian Cruise Line's contract says we will bring the ship. Philiport is 100% in control of building the port and then managing and running that port. I mean, and that's how it works in almost everywhere. Even when like Norwegian builds this amazing terminal and all that, it's still run by the Miami Port Authority in conjunction with Norwegian Cruise Line. This one is pretty much 100% run by Philiport. So it's their responsibility to build it, and then it's their responsibility to manage all of the logistics. So now the check-in part actually was perfect. The check-in was just like any other cruise check-in. We came into the hotel, you know, we did the snaking thing in the line, we checked in, brilliant, that was perfect. Then they told us to go sit and wait for the bus.
Well, they told us to get a ticket.
Yeah, so we were supposed to get a bus ticket. Then they said, well, we don't have any tickets, so just go have a seat. And then magically, like 20 minutes later, tickets suddenly reappeared and we needed a ticket. So we were supposed to wait for the ticket to be called A, B, C, D, E, F, and U. And they actually went through the alphabet twice. But what happened was, you know, those of us who got there early, we did take our seat. And then the people who were coming in behind us were just like, instead of taking a bus ticket and sitting down, they were just taking a bus ticket and getting straight in line. And then the people at the bus decided to, well, we don't need to worry about the tickets anymore. We're just going to queue them up and just get them onto the bus. And we were getting really conflicting information with the one manager saying, well, no, you got to have a ticket to get on the bus. Another one saying, don't worry about it. We're going to get you over there. Long story short, it took us 4.5 hours from the time we arrived at the hotel until we actually got to the ship. And it didn't need to be that way. It finally broke down to the point where we just got up, like pretty much everybody who was sitting down, we all just got up and just got online because that was the only way to get to the ship. We only counted 4 buses. Somebody else said they saw 10 buses. We only saw 4. I don't know how many buses there really were. So there were 20. This is a full ship. What is it, around 2,300 passengers, something like that, double occupancy. So you got about 2,300 people to move. And we saw 4 buses. Some other people said they saw 10 buses. Figure 44, 45 people per bus. And then the bus has to go 15, 20 minutes from the hotel to get to the ship and then come all the way back. The other thing they did was they had exactly 2 14-foot trucks to bring all of the luggage from the hotel to the ship. Because what they did was they had us check all of our luggage at the hotel. It was all just sitting out there outside the hotel. And then they had to truck it over to the ship, and they were using 2 little 14-foot trucks. It was actually laughable watching these 2 little bitty trucks be unloaded, and then they had to go again and then unload them again. So it was purely a logistics thing. That is why we were so late leaving. In fact, the last bag got onto the ship about an hour to 90 minutes after the last passenger. That's how slow it was getting the luggage. So we were ultimately 3 hours late getting out. And the frustrating thing wasn't how long it took. It wasn't any one thing. It was just a pure lack of communication and lack of management. It's not rocket science to do a bus queue. It's very easy to do a bus queue. If you're actually going to give out tickets, then you need to manage the ticket to make sure everybody follows the same thing. You can't have some people have a seat and then just have other people just start queuing up, because then that messes up the whole system. And that was the biggest thing. I got at least 4 different answers from 4 different quote unquote supervisors who kept telling me different things. So that was really frustrating. Needless to say, I did fire off a whole bunch of information to my Norwegian rep. And while this was not Norwegian's fault, I said, this is making you guys look really, really bad, because this is your return cruising. We're launching from Philadelphia, and this is not a great representation of what cruising really should be. So hopefully, they've had some meetings with the Philiport team. Hopefully there's been some calls with the Philiport team to get the logistics worked out. If they get the bus logistics worked out, then it's going to be fine. Now, one thing I will say now, Alex, how was it for you actually getting through all of that process and then getting onto the ship?
So it wasn't too bad. I would
Okay.
tell you that from an accessibility perspective, it wasn't prioritized. So in that sense, I think all the Haven and all the accessibility folks, there was no prioritization until you actually get to the terminal.
Yeah,
So
that was not
it's
good.
kind of like, and then when you're in a terminal, it's 10, 15 minutes and you're on the ship, so it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'd be cautious because I think from a scooter's perspective, they only had like 2 buses that actually were allowing scooters on.
Yeah.
So in essence, they probably should have had a separate line for if you needed a scooter.
So they had no ADA priority. They did not have enough buses for the scooters. If you are mobility challenged at all, my recommendation would be to wait until at least September, maybe October, like whenever that terminal is actually done, because they had no prioritization whatsoever. In fact, they told Alex to go to a priority line. They just ended up sending him into the normal line. I'm like, this is not the line. So somebody saying was there a priority line for Latitude members? No, there was no priority line
Not
for
even
anybody.
Haven.
There was a lovely Haven area roped off.
But they had no
blue
priority.
ropes, but there was no priority anything for anybody.
No.
It was kind of let's just say it was a cluster. Okay. Really, what they should have done was they should have put like the Haven. They have multiple ballrooms. They could have just sent the Haven to a different ballroom, escorted them out. Like Alex said, they should have had a separate line for scooters, mobility, ADA compliant. They only had a couple of buses that could actually take the scooters. So you need all the buses to be able to do that. When you've got a crew, or at least the majority of them to do that. So that also slowed down the embarkation because you got everybody just trying to get to one embarkation area, and with no priority given to those who might need a little extra help or things like that. So what time would I recommend arriving at the port? Well, you're not going to go to the port. You're going to go to the hotel. So I probably wouldn't show up at that hotel before 11 a.m., unless you're staying at the hotel. Like some folks were saying that they were able to come down at like 8:30 in the morning and kind of drop off their bag because they were starting to take the bags at 8:30 in the morning. So they stayed at the Clarion Hotel. But you're going to show up until the terminal is done. You're going to the Clarion Hotel, which is about 20 minutes away, and then you will be taken by bus over there. So the whole check-in process happens at the hotel. You take the bus, then you go through the big security tent. That's where your carry-ons are going to be screened. And then you have to walk up the double ramp. There's like a double or triple ramp that you have to walk up. So understand you don't get that jetway like we get in all the big cruise terminals. You will be getting onto the ship basically on deck 3 or 4. You're going to be coming up from a ground base gangway. So you need to be able to navigate all of that. And you're not going to get wheelchair assistance until you get to the terminal area. You're not going to get wheelchair assistance in the hotel, which I thought was wrong too. I thought there should have been
And you don't get it from the bus.
To walk. That's about 200 yards. That's about a 200-yard walk. So, yeah. So anybody who's mobility challenged, you are not really assisted at all until the last couple hundred yards. You're finally assisted. But at the hotel, you're not given any assistance. Getting from the bus over to security, you're not given any assistance. It's just pushing you up the ramp to get you onto the ship. That's really all they're going to help you with, which is kind of a shame. That's not the experience that should happen. You should be assisted from the time you show up at the terminal, which right now is the hotel. And I don't know if they're going to address that. I don't know. I do know that my rep took all of my information, and she does literally pass it right on to the whole team at the top. I know that because we've had conversations back and forth about that. So hopefully, if they get the bus situation figured out, then they will have something. But right now, if you are mobility challenged, I would recommend waiting until that terminal is done. Now, when that terminal is done, the one thing that I do see that could happen is major traffic issues, because it looks like to me it was just a little 2-lane road coming in, and then you make a right turn into the port. So I think there could be some serious traffic jams on the way in, coming in once it's done. But that's okay. I'd rather deal with a traffic jam than this little ring around the rosy and over the river and through the woods to get to the ship. But once we're on the ship, man, Everything has been great on the ship. We lost water pressure for about an hour this morning, but that's about it. But on the ship, it has been absolutely amazing. Somebody's asking, where should you park? That's a really good question, because some people chose to park at the hotel. So what's going to happen when we get back? There will be 2 sets of buses, in theory, but there will be 2 sets of buses. One set of buses is going to take us directly from the ship, and we are going right to the airport. Another set of buses are going to take guests from the ship back to the hotel. My guess is the first buses are all going to be airport. So you will not be able to get over to the hotel for a while. They're going to put the priority on getting everybody to the airport, and then they'll start busing people back to the hotel so you can get your car. You can park at the Clarion Hotel. They do have long-term parking. I would almost recommend parking at the airport and then using Norwegian's airport shuttle to get back over to the airport. I think you'll get to your car faster. That's just me. We also have guests on here who live in the area, and I've been recommending to them, just take the bus to the airport, because it'll be easier for you to get an Uber to go home from the airport than it will be, because trying to get an Uber or a ride share from the Clarion Hotel looked incredibly difficult when we were trying to get on. There was just so much traffic, so much mass confusion, like the Ubers couldn't even get in. So you would be better off like walking all the way out to the parking lot to the Clarion or something. So I would almost want to go to the airport no matter what. Park at the airport. If you live locally, go to the airport and then take an Uber back to the hotel, kind of a thing. So yeah, my live is super glitchy on TikTok. I know. I can't do much about it. I will complain to the captain afterward, though. I will go up here and say, Captain, I was live on TikTok and your Wi-Fi sucked. I'm sure he's just going to go, eh. You can watch us over on YouTube, too. Apparently, YouTube's working quite well. It's usually the opposite. Usually, TikTok is great and YouTube is glitchy, but today, TikTok is being glitchy. I don't know. It was better when it was owned by the other company. I don't know. Maybe it's an American thing. So, all right. So that was a little bit of Philly. We're going to talk more about Philly in a minute, but I know that Aaron over here, you said you had a question. Yes. What do you got?
2 short ones. So as you know, today I signed up for the group cruise for next year. Do you think it's better to do, we're considering Epcot and Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Is it better to do that pre-cruise? I'm just worried about crowds. Or do you think post-cruise?
So the question is, Aaron is booked on the Loca Fam Halloween cruise on the Star Princess. I'll put that up there for you guys again. So if you weren't here before, we have the next La Lido Loca group cruise is going to be on the Star Princess, October 31st, 2027. So the question is, should I do Epcot and Animal Kingdom before the cruise or after the cruise? My thought is do it before the cruise. Reason being is that it's going to be hectic. There are big crowds. It's going to be hot. Even in October, it's going to be hot. So there's going to be a lot of running around. Epcot's a big place. Animal Kingdom, big place. A lot of walking, a lot of people, a lot of crowds. Then you get on the ship and you relax. Otherwise, you're doing it the other way around. You relax and then you're going to be thrown into the hecticness of Disney World. That's what? You got something?
I was just looking at which way around would give you the fewest weekend days, and it's after, because weekends are worse.
Well, yeah, weekends are worse.
So maybe, it's a Sunday to Sunday cruise. So if you checked in on Sunday, and then you could start like Monday, Tuesday doing actual park things.
That's a good point too. So you get the weekdays.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because I would try, if you're got limited time, I would try and avoid weekends.
So there you go. So Rebecca is like, maybe you do it after, because then you could go there Monday, Tuesday.
Normally, I would agree with Walter. You want to do your go thing before a cruise, but in this case, because it's Sunday to Sunday, 2 days before, you're going to have at least Friday, Saturday, and Friday, Saturday are going to be busy.
Yeah, that's true. And you got another question?
Yeah, the other one is about Allianz.
All right.
If let's say you book a cruise,
live studio audience,
get your insurance, 14 days after but then you cancel that cruise later on. What happens with that insurance? Can you change it to some other cruise, or how does that work?
Good question. So the question is about Allianz third-party travel insurance. If you've got it on a trip and you cancel that trip, can you move the insurance to another trip? The answer is maybe. The answer is maybe. So I've had it where a client has been, let's say they're going from Star Princess to Emerald Princess, it's a different date and all of that. I've been able to move the insurance over. If you're moving to another product, like say you're going from Princess over to Norwegian, maybe. But that's really a question that I'm not qualified to fully answer. You would have to call Allianz to get 100% what the answer is. I mean, the answer is maybe. If you have annual insurance, obviously it doesn't matter because you're covered for the whole year. But when you've got specific trip insurance, I have done it where we've been able to move it on the same ship or same cruise line to another ship, but not always.
If you're just kind of shifting your cruise rather than canceling and rebooking. But there's also a time frame that if you've booked it so long ago and bought your insurance, I forget what the amount of days is.
Yeah.
Then no matter what, you can't move it. It's got to be a certain time frame for you to be able to even
And there will be no refund either, right?
Well, after 14 days, there's no refunds on Allianz, period. Good morning. How are you? It's fun going on a group cruise. You know, you get people kind of hanging out. I don't know anybody's name. I just know everybody's face. There's just so many people. We have about 172, 175 people on this particular voyage. I think we're going to have upwards of 400 on the, maybe more on the Halloween cruise because people are really, really excited about that one. Another really good question, what are the extra activities or events on a group cruise? Well, that depends on the group cruise, obviously. On this particular one with Tony and Jenny B, we've got 3 live events planned. So the first one was just like a big Q&A. That's usually always the first thing, right? Because everybody's meeting Tony and Jenny B for the first time, or maybe seeing them for the first time in a year or two. Everybody's got questions, and it was a really good Q&A. Actually, a lot of great questions. We were fortunate to have Don Terrace surprise Tony, and then Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, is also here. So all 3 of them got up on stage together, and it was a great Q&A. The 2 of them, Tony and Jenny B, are going to do like a live podcast, a live to tape podcast tomorrow. In front of the audience, and I'm sure they're going to take some more questions as well. And then the final sea day, we have 3 sea days on this particular voyage. The final sea day, we're just going to kind of do a big meet and greet for the final day, just get everybody together one last time to chat. Sometimes there are, depending on the group cruise, there could be more planned activities. Like I see Barbara mention the murder mystery group cruise that we have going in January. So as part of that, we have 4 sea days on that voyage. 2 of those sea days will involve murder mystery somehow. The problem is, the butler always does it, but on Silver Sea, everybody gets a butler. So which one did it? That's going to be the problem. But we will have somebody's going to die on that cruise, and you're going to have to figure out who the killer is on that cruise for sure over the 2 days.
Oh, can I die? Yeah,
there you go. Rebecca wants to die. No, I think, maybe the captain. Oh, maybe the captain gets knocked off, and then we got to figure out who killed the captain. And then we might have a Clue tournament too, or because Clue was invented in England. I didn't know that, but it's a British. In fact, I'm talking about it. Let me bring it up on screen, and for those of you who want to join us, because our group rates are about to run out anyway. But in that case, we're going to have very planned activities around murder mysteries. Plus, one of our port stops is at the Shades Guadeloupe, where they filmed the show Death in Paradise. So, and a lot of us are doing that excursion. We're going to go do the excursion. We're going to see all the sites where they filmed Death in Paradise. It's a great BBC show. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. You should be a fan. But yeah, it just depends. Like Tony recently went on the Kevin Smith one, and that's like a big, they take over the whole ship. And they do events every single day and things like that. So it just depends on the cruise you're going on. But when it's people like Tony and Jenny B, there's usually going to be a couple of live events. Plus, we're doing group dinners. We're doing 3 group dinners on this particular voyage. Because we had almost 200 people, we split it up into 3 dinners of about 68 people each. So this way, it wasn't just like this big mass, and you wouldn't even see Tony. Tony's able to walk around and see everybody a few times over to dinner when we do it smaller like that. So yeah, it just depends on the voyage, but I know like next year we're definitely going to have a big Halloween costume contest probably because we're all sailing on Halloween. We'll have some group dinners. Now, here's the thing: most people are getting the Princess Premiere on that, so we'll have to see. But since we started talking about the murder mystery, I want to remind everybody my group rates run out in about 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, I will no longer have my prices. If you've been Silver Sea curious, if anybody over here has been Silver Sea curious, this is the lowest rate I've ever had that I've ever seen on a Silver Sea cruise. This is a 10-night cruise that starts at about $5,100 per person for 11 nights, all inclusive. Basically all inclusive, not the shore excursion, but almost all inclusive on the ship itself. You got your butler, you got your drink package, you got your Wi-Fi, you got almost all of the restaurants. There are like 1 or 2 that have additional fees. 700 passengers, so it's not like you're going to be fighting for people to get loungers and things like that. We got 4 sea days, and we've got stopped in San Juan, St. John, St. Kitts, Deschutes, Guadeloupe, Antigua, and Tortola. Great set of ports stopped in there. And we got the 4 sea days, so at least 2 of those sea days, we will have murder mystery intrigue going on. I'm also trying to set it up where we can do a chef table dinner all together. Maybe we'll all come dressed like in costume or inspired by our favorite characters. That would actually be a lot of fun to do, like a murder mystery dinner as well. So yeah, so that's the kind of thing that we're looking in on that. So if you want to join us for that one or any of these group cruises, just go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel. We've got a whole mess of groups sitting on there right now, including the one that I know John is very excited about. That's the Italy one. We're going to Italy in October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. Celebrity Constellation, Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, Civitavecchia. We're doing all of that in 10 days. And then Rebecca and I are staying on the ship to do the 15-day transatlantic. You can stay on with us. And of course, the Christmas markets. Is anybody coming to Christmas markets with us? Carol, you're not coming to Christmas markets with us? Oh, man, she just got off. That's not an excuse. You should come back and do it again.
I'm not sure that's happening.
December of 2027, we are going on Christmas time on the Rhine for with Avalon Waterways. It is going to be Basel, Breisach, Kell, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and Frankfurt. So you're home for Thanksgiving. You're in Europe December 7th through the 14th, and then you're home for Christmas. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And our rates, again, we've got up to $700 per person saving on the Christmas time on the Rhine. I didn't even say it out loud on the Murder Mystery Cruise. Our savings are up to $1,800 per person for about 2 more weeks. In about 2 weeks, if my math is right, in about 2 weeks, we lose our group rates, and then the prices will jump at least $1,800 per person. It is absolutely insane. So if you want to come join us on any of those, please do. And if you're just tuning in, I am live on the Norwegian Jewel. If the internet is cutting in and out, that is why. We seem to be getting like spotty internet, like it goes out, it comes back, it goes out, it comes back. So, and it seems to happen more when we're in port. We are actually sitting in Bermuda right now, and it seems like when we're in port, you have worse internet than when the ship is actually out of sea. I don't know why, but it does seem to happen that way a lot. So if we're cutting in and out, I apologize, but there's absolutely nothing I can do. But if you have questions, we're on the very first cruise out of Philadelphia in almost 15 years. There's about 172, 175 of us here on the LocaFam Bermuda Triangle Cruise, as we're calling it. It has been absolutely lovely on board. The crew's been great. The Starbucks has been pretty good, except for the fact that the scanner doesn't work, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, and we're talking a lot about Philadelphia because obviously that is the newest cruise port in the United States right now. And what should you expect? So, right now, until the terminal is done, expect chaos on embarkation and debarkation. I mean, I'm kind of not looking forward to debarkation day, but I'm not going to worry about that because that's after a couple of days away. We're going to enjoy our time on the ship before we get there. But should you consider sailing out of Philadelphia? You absolutely should. Is anybody else coming to Philadelphia? We don't know yet because my understanding is Norwegian has a 3-year exclusive on Philadelphia. They're going to be bringing in a different ship. Now, the Jewel kicked it off. The Pearl is coming in next year. what is really interesting about this, these are not just Bermuda cruises. You know, in New York, it just seems like they're just stuck on remote, right? It's Bermuda, Bermuda, Bermuda. Philadelphia is not. They are doing a series of Bermuda runs, but then we've got Canada, New England. We've got Southern Caribbean. There are itineraries in there that are like 10, 12. There might be a 14-day, but I know I've seen 10 and 12-day itineraries coming out of Philadelphia, going up into Canada, New England, and going into the Southern Caribbean. There are some really nice itineraries coming out of Philadelphia. So if you've been looking for something different than what Baltimore is offering, than what New York, New Jersey is offering, Philadelphia is a welcome addition to the cruise scene. And the terminal could not be more convenient to the airport if they wanted it to be. You are literally right alongside one of the runways. It's kind of cool. You're up on the ship just watching the planes come in. It's probably a better view than you get at the airport, honestly, because you're up so high. You're up on deck 13 looking down on the airport. It's a fabulous view of the airport. So the convenience factor is going to be amazing, especially if they ever figure out a way, like if they could run like some sort of light rail from the airport and come straight over to the cruise port. That would be killer. I don't think they ever will, but that would be absolutely killer. So any questions over here right now? No? Okay.
Oh, well, this is more for us. Do you recommend we carry our luggage off or give it to the...
It's a good question. Should we carry the luggage off, or should we put it out the night before and let them take it down? Now, was it you? No, there was somebody I was talking to just a little while ago who said the tent where they did the security here in Philadelphia is where they actually staged all the luggage at the end of the cruise. So I think we're going to probably pull ours off ourselves. We only have one carry-on and one large piece of luggage. In a normal situation, I might check the big bag and let them take the big bag. I will probably keep it myself so I can get off a little bit faster rather than wait. At least here in Philadelphia, if they're taking the luggage off the same way they put it on, it was like this one little carrier they were using on a backhoe, on a forklift, and just like taking it off. And it was agonizingly slow, the process, getting the luggage off and onto the ship. It wasn't at all like, you see in Miami, they just keep lifting up these big trolleys and shoving them in. It wasn't like that at all. It was incredibly slow. So I think in normal circumstances, in normal cruise terminals, you got the option to either carry the luggage or let them check it. With the Philadelphia situation the way it is right now, if you can take it off yourself, I would. If you're not comfortable taking it off yourself, then don't. I think that's how I would look at it.
If they're going back to the hotel?
Well, no, you can still check it at night. You can still check it at night and let them take it off the ship for you. So, but I just don't know how long your luggage is going to take to actually get over to the tent. That's what I'm saying. So my suggestion is here in Philadelphia until the terminal is done. If you're comfortable taking it off, take it off. If you're not comfortable taking it off, then just go ahead and check it and let them take it.
Is there enough room in the bus for everyone that gets on that bus to store their luggage?
Yeah, no, the luggage will go underneath. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Nurse Tara is looking forward to sailing out of Philly once the terminal is completed. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So, yeah, for those of you over on TikTok with the internet going in and out, you could also switch over to YouTube. YouTube's working very well. Where's Walter Travel on YouTube? Like I said, normally it's the other way around. Usually TikTok is working great and YouTube is having all the problems. Today, YouTube is working really, really well. So thank you, YouTube. Yay. Where was I going now? Okay, so Philadelphia and the itineraries. The itineraries are fabulous. The ships are going to be small. Ships are going to be very small, but this is a great size ship. In fact, we were commenting, this ship is 2,300. The Valiant Lady right behind us is 2,700. She's a much larger ship, could not get into Philly because of the bridges. But it is interesting how, even though the ship is small, it's really not that small when you compare how many people are on the two ships. Now, will the other cruise lines come in? I guess they're just going to be watching the Philadelphia experiment and see how it goes. But easily, Royal could come in, Carnival could come in, Princess could probably bring in some of their small ships if they wanted to. It will be, and I really hope that the other cruise lines do come in, because I think it's an interesting spot to launch your cruises from. It's a beautiful sailaway going down the river. That's always kind of cool, right? When you don't just launch right out into the ocean. It takes, I don't know, it takes about 2 hours or so to kind of just go down the river. It would have been really beautiful had we left 3 hours earlier like we were supposed to. We would have had daylight all the way down out to the ocean. That would have been absolutely amazing. But we had just enough daylight to see both bridges before we went out. So how is the weather in Bermuda? So it's been off and on rain, but yesterday was gorgeous. It was a beautiful sunshine once we got
start
here.
out that way.
Yeah, started out as completely stormy, but by the time we were all getting off the ship, sun was coming out. It was absolutely beautiful. It was threatening earlier. It was threatening earlier, and in fact, that's why I moved inside, because I was concerned it was going to start raining out there. So I moved inside, and I think today it's actually rather nice. The breeze has been amazing.
Yeah.
Breeze is fabulous here. You know, we did learn something last night that was interesting. All of Bermuda is like 21 square miles, and Orlando Airport is 23 square miles. So the airport that we have in Orlando is actually more land area than all of Bermuda. I thought that was interesting. Some people were like, oh, don't compare it to Orlando. I'm like, why not? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Judy, Philly can be a fun city to hang out. Looks like you had fun. Yes, in the Reading Market, so much food. I'll tell you, it is just amazing. You know, everybody thinks that it's Philly cheesesteaks. It's not. Philadelphia is really a cool food town that goes way beyond the cheesesteak. I barely had a cheese. In fact, the best cheesesteak I had was a cheesesteak egg roll. That was at McGinnis. I think it's McGinnis is the name of that bar.
No, it wasn't McGinnis.
Anybody remember the name? McGiffin? Nah, something like that. It's the oldest bar in Philadelphia. We went there. The actual cheesesteak sandwich there is okay. I probably wouldn't get it, but the cheesesteak egg roll, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Did we get a rum swizzle? We did on the catamaran last night, and they claimed that theirs was better than that famous swizzle place that you take the boat to get to.
McGillin's.
That's it. McGillin's in Philadelphia. I highly recommend you go there just to check it out. It's an amazing bar. It's from the 1700s or 1800s.
1800s.
And they have an
1860.
a cheesesteak egg roll. It's absolutely amazing. So, but yeah, we had the rum swizzle. They were making the dark and stormies last night over at Calico Jack's. Oh my God, folks, Calico Jack's. It's right here at the pier. It's that little pirate ship. That's where they make the traditional Bermuda fish sandwich, which is a cinnamon raisin toast. And it's a fish sandwich. The first bite is weird. It's definitely weird because you get hit with the cinnamon, there's raisin, there's the fish. But the fish was so moist. It was so flaky. It was so delicious. And it was huge. It was a huge sandwich. And yes, I do have video. I'll be putting a video out shortly. But it's really, really good. So if you're coming here to Bermuda, definitely hit up Calico Jack's. And then if you want to, you can walk over to the Clock Tower Mall. It's just really close. It's not that long of a walk at all. Island Outfitters, that's where I found a new shirt. I can tell you they got really nice shirts over there. So yeah, it's kind of cool hanging out in Bermuda. And like I said, first time that we've hung out with another ship. We've had the Valiant Lady here with us all night as well. So that was actually kind of cool. So, hey, Warren from San Antonio, Texas. How are you? John is always a carry-off, but he's also a super light packer. Exciting news. We have new luggage. We got
we've ordered it.
Yes, we've ordered. What is it called?
Noble. Nobl. It's kind of
NOBL. We just ordered Noble luggage.
It's clamps.
Yeah, it's clamps. This is the way Rebecca does it. It's clamps. It's clamps. No zippers. It just clamps. We're gonna clamp. We're just so excited because, you know, we keep like trying out different luggage, and it's okay. And then she's like, you know, we're getting real luggage. so we got Noble. I know there's some other brands out there like that, but now, like, the thing is, you should get clamp luggage because it's easy to break a zipper, get into a zipper. Like, you know, people are just figuring out so many different ways. I'm sure they can get into a clamp luggage too if they really wanted to. But she's all excited. Did anybody else have clamp luggage? Anybody else have the clamps? The clamps? No clamps? All right. Anybody out there? Anybody have the clamps? The clamps? Got clamp luggage? Clamp. I'm getting the look. Those of you who are married, you know exactly the look that I'm getting right now. Especially if you've been married for 30 years. Almost. September will be 30 years married. I think we're 36 years together? 35 years together?
35.
35 years together. How about that? Yeah. So, John, you're so sad you didn't join us for this trip. I have written permission to use your Amex as needed for these trips. Yes. There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. Mimi said they switched to clamp luggage, crew clamp luggage. There you go. I love it. I love it. Yeah, John, I'm happy to run that Amex for you. You know, I've been looking at this Antarctic expedition that's $55,000 per person. So I'll let you know when I sign up for it, and you'll see the charge go through on your card. I will say, some of our, one of the things that we've been doing with our group cruises, the ones that we're doing, we're starting to look at our list, like where do we want to go? And I'll tell you that on the short list right now, we got Japan, we got Norway, Antarctica is on the list for sure, and Australia. Those are like the 4 that we're looking at for future announcements for group cruises for sure. In addition to some rivers. So, Peggy and Rhonda said they know that look well. So yeah, they know the look. They need. What else can I say about Philadelphia? I'm excited. I really am. For as much trouble as we had, I'm really excited that we've got another cruise port coming on the scene. I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good to have alternatives. Baltimore, you're just kind of getting the same ship over and over and over. Now at least you got a different ship to choose from. And I think Norwegian themselves hit it out of the park in terms of the ship. They sent the right ship there. This ship just went through a dry dock. She looks fabulous. The crew is amazing. The food is still, for me, Norwegian's food game, it's just not the specialty dining, really good. But, the buffet in the main dining room, this buffet is probably the best buffet of all the Norwegian ships we've been on. And I've universally heard that the smaller Norwegian ships have better main dining room experience and better buffet. And I will say we're kind of seeing that on this ship. If we've been on the Getaway, the Escape, the Aqua, and the Encore. None of those main dining rooms impressed me, and none of those buffets impressed me. At least this one has had some like really nice surprises on the buffet, like the charred cauliflower yesterday was a huge surprise. That was really awesome. So I'm sure Philly will get the kinks worked out. I mean, Philly's totally going to get, well, I don't know. Talking to local Philadelphians, I don't know that they'll ever get the kinks worked out. It's a Philly thing, is what I keep getting told. I think the only issue that they're going to have once they get it all set up is right now it's just a little 2-lane road getting in, so they will have traffic issues. But if they just get the terminal working, that's going to be fabulous. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. How about a transatlantic on the Queen Mary 2? So, my good buddy Gary Bembridge has a group cruise right now on the Queen Mary 2. So that could be really, really interesting. We're kind of we're kind of considering maybe something like that. We've looked at maybe doing the 14-day, like do the round trip. We don't know if we would do the group cruise as the 14-day round trip or maybe just one or the other. But yeah, I would love to do that. John would like to see an Explora group go to Greece. Explora Journeys go to Greece. I will tell you, when we go to Greece, probably won't be them. It might be Celestial. We've really been looking. I've been looking. To be very honest, Globus, which is the people who have Avalon Waterways, but they're also a land tour company. Globus, they have a Greece package that's like 7 or 8 days on land, or maybe 10 days on land, with a 7-day cruise on Celestial. So basically you do the whole land portion and you get to explore all the land-based stuff, and then you go out to the islands on Celestial. So I've kind of been looking at that one for a group, because like if you're going to go, let's go. Let's like really go. Explora, I mean, that might be something depending on what they're doing in some of the other areas, because we would like to get back on Explorer for sure. I think Silver Sea is really going to spoil me when we get on that one. I don't know, because that's supposed to be like next level, but we don't know. Could be. But yeah, it would be nice to do. It would be nice to get back on Explorer. What about you guys? What's on the bucket list here, Alex? What Where do we want to go?
I think I'll probably. I want to do the Norwegian area during the summer.
Norwegian fjords,
Yeah.
Norwegian fjords. And those of you doing the Norwegian fjords, you want the ship to be a little bit smaller, and you want to try to go like 10, maybe 14 days, so you got more time to get up into some of these places. Good call, Aaron.
What
Where
do
you?
you recommend for New England?
Canada, New England. So Canada, New England. What I Aaron wants to know, who do I recommend for Canada, New England? I will say, if you can do it, I recommend the one way, kind of like Alaska, or a longer cruise, so that you can. Is somebody trying to break in? Is Valiant Lady like starting a fight? Are they canning? Are they shooting the cannons over here? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like we're being shot at with cannons by Valiant Lady, which I would not put it past Richard Branson to do that. But okay, yeah, Canada, New England, that's where we were.
A little distracted.
Yes. If you can start out or end like in Montreal, go all the way up into Montreal, I think that's really cool. Get on some of the smaller ships that take you up to Montreal, and then come all the way down to New York, or maybe come back down to Philadelphia, kind of a thing. I like Princess. I love Princess.
Well, except Princess is sending one of the Royal class ships.
That's true. They're sending a big
I
ship
think
up there
that's
now. So Holland America might be nice
Yeah.
up there. They're out of Boston. They did a round trip Boston. And then some of the smaller ships too, if you could swing it, like Azamara, Oceana, they
Yeah.
do some really cool things up there. And
It's basketball.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
basketball's happening upstairs.
basketball is happening. They're playing basketball on our head.
Well,
That's what's going on.
It could be another court-based
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
but it's some court-based game is happening.
Thank you, Alex. Alex to the rescue. But it does. I like my theory of Valiant Lady is shooting cannons. They're shooting ping pong balls at us.
Who do you think does the best transatlantic?
Who do I think does the best transatlantic? Well, we have not been on a transatlantic yet. Now, Queen Mary II is the ultimate. That's what she was built for. She was built for your transatlantic sailing. So if you really want to do it and you want to go on the quintessential transatlantic, then it's the Queen Mary II. But she's like a rocket, man. You're coming over in 6 days. No wasting time. You're coming over.
7 days.
Maybe 7 days, right? It's not this meandering 18-day kind of a thing. Beyond that, it's really just about the itinerary, right? Is the ship gonna hold your interest for that amount of time? I think a transatlantic is like a great time to do like an Icon class or an Oasis class. You got like so much to do, right? But then if you just want to chill, like we just want to chill, so we're doing the Celebrity Constellation, which is about 2,000 people. So,
but we are taking advantage of the fact that we have so many sea days, and we're doing
right.
a lot of stuff we might not normally do. Like we're doing a pizza cooking class, and we're doing the behind the scenes tour, and we actually bought the unlimited dining package for that portion because we have a lot of time.
Yeah, so why not? I see Bill's fan said that they are starting a GoFundMe page for the 14 days in Greece. So if anybody would like to contribute, Bill's fan 1972 will take your donations. I'm sorry, John, he beat you to it. So he's got his going. That's fabulous. I love that. Somebody loves the Disney transatlantic. Now that would be another fun ship to be on, right? Disney on a cruise. I think a transatlantic is a great time. If there's a ship that you've really wanted to do, right? And it's going to be more about the ship on the transatlantic than the stock, because the majority of that trip will be the ship. So you definitely want to go on a ship that I think that's a great time to try out a new ship. You might say, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck on that ship for 15 days. But, even if it's a ship, you're like, I wouldn't go back on it again. How bad is it going to be? Right? I mean, there's really, we have never been on a ship. There are ships that we did not have as good a time, but there's no ship that we wouldn't go back on again. Like every single ship we've ever sailed on, I would go back on it again for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to name names, but I definitely, there's some ship that I did not enjoy as much, but I would totally go back on them again. So yeah, absolutely. You still have to book extras for the med. Yep, absolutely. Let me walk through the group cruises real quick again while we're here, because my gosh, we've already been talking for an hour. How about that? Real quick. So La Lita Loca is doing their Halloween cruise. They're bringing their Halloween cruise back. So if you're getting FOMO, seeing Tony and Jenny B hanging out with all of us on this ship, and you really should be here. They are just lovely, lovely people. If you want to come hang out with just a great group of folks, I mean, these are people who just love cruising. And some people are here for the first time, right? They're on their very first cruise because Tony finally convinced them to get on a ship. If you just want to hang out with a bunch of really cool, really nice people, it's been lovely just walking through in the evenings and seeing some of y'all like just out and about. Just a lovely group of people. This is a great experience for solo travelers as well. You know, Carol's over here, Alex is over here. It's a great experience for solo travelers because you're hanging out with a whole group of folks. So next year, and you're going to be on the Star Princess. Star Princess is about as pretty of a ship as it gets, especially for a big one. For a big ship, it's about as pretty of a ship as it gets. So we'll be on the all-new Star Princess sailing on Halloween night. And yes, this is a Halloween cruise, and Tony and Jenny B get into the Halloween thing. So, and if you don't want to dress up, you don't have to. But if you want to, you know, this is your cruise for you. October 31st through November 7th of 2027. We're sailing out of Port Canaveral. They're bringing the Star Princess up to Port Canaveral. We'll go to Celebration Key, Amber Cove, San Juan, and Grand Turk. So you get 4 stops on a 7-night cruise. That is pretty dang good for a 7-night cruise. Right now, I have savings up to $500 per person. This is unheard of for me. Normally, my group rates with Princess are worse than the public rates. I usually just end up booking you with the public rates because it's a better promotion. Right now, my promotion is actually better than the public promotion. So take advantage of it while you can. That'll be absolutely amazing. Then, of course, we've got our Murder Mystery Group cruise. If you're a fan of British murder mysteries, or if you just want to try out the Silver Sea Silver Ray, this is the newest ship in the fleet. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely amazing. 700 passengers. Everybody gets a suite. Everybody gets a butler. I feel like Oprah. You get a butler, and you get a butler, and you get it. Everybody gets a butler. It's going to be crazy. And then we'll all be able to answer the question, what exactly do you do with a butler?
Well, and not everybody gets a dedicated single.
No, not a dedicated, but everybody gets a butler. Yes. Every room gets a butler. They're shared butlers, but you still get them.
And then the upper suites might get their
own. And then we got to figure out which one did it, you know, in the murder mystery. Who did it? But yeah, so, and our savings are up to $1,800 per person on a Silver Sea. So if you wanted to try Silver Sea, this is 11 nights. Starting at around $5,100 per person, which is unheard of for Silver Sea. We sail out of Miami. We go to San Juan, St. John, St. Kitts, Deschutes, Guadalupe, Antigua, and Tortola with 4 sea days. So 11 total nights, 4 sea days.
And when he says St. John, we're doing St. John, Antigua, but St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, which nobody stops at.
Yeah.
It's got to be a small ship.
Got to be a small ship, so it's going to be very cool. And we're co-hosting this with our dear friend Missy Riffle, who is another KHM travel agent. She is an actress. She's a travel agent. She played Mrs. Peacock in Clue, so it's like she's the perfect co-conspirator to work on this cruise with. So we are putting it all together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Mindy is reminding you that she's doing the Celebrity Eclipse in November 2027, if anybody wants to join. Mindy has multiple transatlantics, which I'll run through. In fact, here's the Trans-Pacific that she's doing. The Sapphire Princess coming up in November 22nd of this year. Sapphire Princess goes from LA to Maui, Kilo, Kona, Honolulu, Kauai, and then over to Tokyo. So if you want to go LA to Tokyo this coming Christmas season, Mindy is doing that November 22nd through December 12th. I'm flying through this, and especially if you're watching on TikTok and you can't see the graphic, just go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel. All of this is in group travel, so I just kind of fly through these. The Christmas Markets Cruise, people, please come join us on the rivers at Christmas. Rebecca and I are heading over in June. We're going to be on this ship. It's going to be the Avalon View. We will actually be on this ship in June, sailing southbound on the Rhine, and then we'll be hopping on another ship to go northbound on the Rhine. So we're actually going to go check out all of these places. December 7th through the 14th, 2027. Our savings are up to $700 per person. It might be more now. The rates keep going up. It is from Basel to Frankfurt going northbound. So you're home for Thanksgiving, you're home for Christmas, but you can go shopping in Europe December 7th through the 14th. It's going to be an amazing cruise. We have over 70 people already signed up on this. The ship only holds like 140, 150. So we've got basically half the ship already. Come on along. Let's just fill the ship with a whole bunch of us. And it'll be fun. It'll be Where's Walter's Warriors going to Christmas. It'll be so awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. What else have I got? Let me see. I've got Italy. Italy and Croatia on the Celebrity Constellation, plus or minus 2,000 people. It's a very small ship. We love these smaller ships in the Mediterranean. It's essentially going from Venice around to Rome. That's essentially what it is. So we start in Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and Civitavecchia. Those are going to be the ports. And then if you want to stay on the ship, you can stay on the ship and you can go transatlantic over to San Juan. That's what we're going to do. We've never stayed a night in San Juan. We're actually going to stay a night in San Juan. Very much looking forward to that. What else have I got? Oh, we got the Four Sisters meeting up. So we got one of the sisters right behind us. The Valiant Lady is right behind us. But next year, for the first time ever, all 4 lady ships from Virgin Voyages are going to meet up at sea. It's just going to be a big party. It is going to be a huge party. Sir Richard Branson claims that he's going to be on all 4 ships that day. I would not put it past him. I absolutely would not put it past him to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they use like one of those rescue craft and just shoot him from ship to ship. But this is going to be his voyage.
Set up a zip line.
Oh yeah, zip line between them. That would be awesome. Or balloon. I mean, he's done the balloon in the past, so you know maybe he'll just float a balloon across between them. A balloon on a zip line. Why not? But Corey is hosting this one. This is on the Resilient Lady, February 14th through the 21st, 2027. You're going to start out in Miami. You go to Freeport. The sisters will meet up at sea. Then you go to Progresso and the Bimini Beach Club. Sisters at Sea will be on the 16th. So all 4 ships are starting from different places, and they will converge in the waters in the Caribbean on February 16th of next year. It will be a full party. Judy wants to do the Four Sisters ship. Again, just go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel. There is a link directly to Corey's trip. Go ahead and sign up with him. It is going to be, because multiple people asked me if we were going to do a group cruise, and I said no, because we've got the January one on the Silver Sea, and that was just too close for us. And then Corey's like, well, I'm doing it. All right. So Corey's doing it, and Corey loves Virgin Voyages, so you will be in very good hands over there. Mindy has a couple of cruises. We were talking about the transatlantic. There it is right there. Celebrity Eclipse, November 8th through the 23rd, 2027. You got Barcelona, Palma, Cartagena, Malaga, Tangier, Bermuda, and then Fort Lauderdale on that one. And then the Caribbean Thanksgiving, the Star Princess, which will be a month after the Halloween cruise, November 23rd through the 28th, 2027, Port Canaveral, Celebration Key, and Grand Turk. I just ran through a whole lot of cruises real fast. Go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel. They're all right there. They're all right there. You can reach out to me, Corey, Mindy, reach out to any of us. We'll be happy to set you up. Very proud of Corey and Mindy as they're growing their clientele and their fan base. It's been absolutely amazing to watch them. We're actually actively looking for 2 more travel agents right now to come join us. And then I'm going to be getting a full-time assistant so Rebecca can go live the life that she has become accustomed to. Which is not much. It's not much.
I don't need a lot.
Yeah, Rebecca's been working super, super hard. So I'm going to be bringing on a full-time assistant so Rebecca can kind of step back a little bit and doesn't have to do quite so much. She's been amazing. Without her, none of this happens. We're not even 4 years in. We're one of the most successful travel agencies with KHM Travel Group. And a lot of that is her. She's just been the rock in the background. You see me on camera having fun and doing all these talks. And yes, I do all the bookings as well, but she does all the back end work. She sends you guys the insurance quote. She enters in everything on the back end. She makes sure that I don't miss things. So Rebecca is doing a lot behind the scenes. So now I'm going to bring in a full-time assistant to take a lot of that load off of her so then she can just concentrate on the core business things as well. So thank you to everybody who has been supporting us and helping us and all of that. Thank you to all of you guys.
Thanks for dealing with us.
Yeah. Well, it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. On this particular group cruise, we repriced the entire cruise 4 times. 4 times the prices got adjusted, even after final payment. So that's an interesting thing about Norwegian. They're the only cruise line that I know of that does this. But after final payment, if the rate goes down, they will either give you a future cruise credit, or if there are rooms available, you could potentially get an upgrade. And in our case, we had like 175 people, so it wasn't feasible to look at room upgrades with all 86 booking till we went with the future cruise credit. And not everybody got it, but the majority of our guests got future cruise credits, anywhere from like $400 up to $2,000 after final payment. So that was insane. So that was just one of the things that we did. It's a lot of work when you do something like that, especially as a travel agent. And then at the same time, what a lot of people don't realize too is every time we reprice something, we're actually taking money out of our pocket, because that reduces the commission, which reduces what we get paid. But it's what we do. We're going to make your experience the best that it can be. And like I said, with this particular group cruise, we repriced it 4 times. It was insane. And when they first launched it, they way overpriced it. They're like, oh, Philadelphia is new. We'll just charge whatever we want and they'll pay for it. And it's like, no, you still need to charge a reasonable rate. Doesn't matter that you're just sailing out of Philadelphia for the first time. So, yeah, so that is everything here. Any other questions from the peanut gallery? No. Any other questions from out there, folks? I know that the signal has not been great from here, so I'm gonna probably just kind of shorten this up. I know, especially on the TikTok side, you guys did not get a good experience at all today. Maybe I'll try another TikTok later. I'll try to find a better place that has a better signal, and we'll try a TikTok again later. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know normally we go 90 minutes. It's almost 90 minutes right now. But we are in Bermuda. We are live on the Norwegian Jewel. I'll be posting some stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really hope you guys consider Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a cool city to float, to fly out of, and to cruise out of. Oh, there's the Naughty Cruiser. Hi, guy. Hey, man, how are you? If you're anywhere near La Cucina, go ahead and run up. But yeah, I know that it's really weird today. Usually TikTok is really sharp and YouTube just goes to crap. But today YouTube has been rock solid for whatever reason, and TikTok went to crap. So what are you going to do? But hey, it's a pleasure meeting you, Mike. I got the pleasure of emceeing a panel with Tony, Don Terrace, and Mike, the Naughty Cruiser. It's so great to finally meet you. It's so great to finally meet Don. I mean, folks, if you ever see Don on a ship, definitely say hello. He's just one of the most lovely people that you will meet. And he's pretty much what you see on videos. Just a lovely guy. He's Canadian through and through, which is great. All right. Well, thank you, Mike. All right, guys. So I think we're just going to wrap this up and go enjoy the little bit of Bermuda that we have. We have another 2 hours left in Bermuda, and then we got a sea day, and then Charleston. So, folks, if you're watching from the Charleston area, come out and say hello in a couple of days. It would be great to meet you all. So, folks, wherever you are in this amazing world, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday at home. No show on Thursday night because we're traveling home Thursday night, but we will be back. Next Sunday morning at home with good signal all around, hopefully. So wherever you are in this amazing world, thank you so much for watching. If we can help you in any way with your travels, just reach out. Where'sWalterTravel.com. Have an awesome day. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. All right. Bye, guys.